Hey you guys, quite a somber video today. As many of you will know, there was a vegan activist, a long-time vegan activist, killed in Canada by a slaughterhouse truck driver. Just before I came out, I watched a Vegan Gains video, and he'd actually been down to one of the protests or vigils at the place outside the slaughterhouse and spoke to some eyewitnesses who were there. I know some of you who watch this channel don't watch Vegan Gains for whatever reason, and that's irrelevant. So because you won't have seen what Vegan Gains said, I'm going to play you a clip here.
So I'm over at the vigil for Reagan, and this is the area where she was killed. So what happened was there was an animal transport truck right over there, and Reagan was standing over here right in front of this gate. Now what a lot of activists do is they stand here to block the trucks to give other activists more time to give water to the pigs. And what happened was this truck driver was extremely aggressive, just didn't care about this woman's life, rammed straight into her. And he had an unobstructed view of this woman. There was nothing in the way. I find it hard to believe that this guy didn't notice that this woman was standing right in front of the gate. He came in, hit her right about here, and then her body fell underneath the truck, and she was dragged. And she was dragged over to where you can see that where the road curves. So basically about a good 15-20 feet at least. And the only reason the truck driver stopped was because the security guards were screaming at him to stop. And the other day when she was killed, you could see a trail of blood here. So it was a pretty brutal, gruesome death.
So according to eyewitnesses, the driver had a clear line of sight, and he actually stopped even though there was a green light, and then he just drove on, and the activist Regan Russell was dragged like a long way under the wheels, and there's blood and whatever, and it's hugely traumatic obviously for anybody who witnessed that. Any of you anti-vegans out there, you might be saying, well, it was an accident and the eyewitnesses can't be trusted because they're vegan, and I guess the only way eventually that will be determined is by the legal system. It's happened in Canada, so I'm not terribly clear on Canadian law. If that happened in Britain, if a driver uses a vehicle intentionally to, like any other weapon, you're essentially using the vehicle as a weapon to cause the death, intentionally cause the death, or you know that it will cause serious injury, that accounts to murder. But obviously these are all speculations, allegations, eyewitness accounts at this stage. But there's a big question mark as to whether the driver intentionally drove his truck to cause the death of Regan Russell. So a huge amount of respect to Regan, who's been an activist for many years apparently, and massive condolences to her family and anyone who knew her. I know what that kind of loss is like, the needless loss of life under the wheels of a driver who is intentionally or otherwise blameworthy. In Britain, if you drive your vehicle dangerously or carelessly and you hit someone and you cause them to die, that can either be causing death by careless driving or causing death by dangerous driving, depending on the particular situation. I can tell you, I know what that feels like, to be in a situation where someone close to you dies completely needlessly and before the time at the hands of a driver who, for whatever reason, isn't paying attention, I guess the possibility in Regan's case is that the driver didn't intentionally aim his truck at her, but he wasn't paying attention. That's another, I guess, speculation possibility. That segues me into another point, which it seems to be unrelated, but I don't think it is. I don't think it is. And that is why I'm still vegan and why I will be vegan forever. I will be vegan for life. A long time ago now, it's well over a year, probably about 18 months, that Freely did a hashtag, why I'm still vegan, and she, in response to all the nonsense that was going around at that time with the lifestyle influencers who decided they were no longer going to be vegan. You know, we had the raw alignments, we had the raw Vaughan, and they came kind of quite thick and fast. And not going to get into that. I'd advise you to go and watch Vegan Footsoldier's video, because he talks about, I'll leave a link to it in the description, he talks about all these people kind of knowing each other and being influenced by each other, and actually we call them influencers when really they're just the sheeple, they're just the influenced by each other. But I don't want to get into that today. But I did a video using Freely's hashtag at that time. It's why I'm still vegan, and I've talked about it on live streams. I've talked about it in no detail whatsoever. I've talked about it on videos. That the loss of someone close to me actually was the final straw in me giving up dairy, because that's essentially the only thing from an animal that I was eating for a long time. I gave up meat and fish when I was 11 years old. This kind of recent stuff with John Venus, you know, it's sent some anti-vegans to my channel, and it's like the old days, you know, the comment section's full of anti-vegans. You know, the likes of Tristan, Primal Edge Health, will say this mentally healthy woman, meaning mentally unhealthy woman, I'm guessing. Well guys, you know nothing. You know nothing, because some of the things I've seen, witnessed, been through would break you. Would break you, you little snowflakes. Well, another thing, I'm falling. I've got inappropriate shoes on and I'm walking up quite a slippery hill. Look, I don't know whether you saw that at all. But another comment from someone called Veganphobic made me laugh. He said, do we even know that Michelle is vegan? As a side note, I checked out that guy's channel and he's got, I don't know, it's 13 or 14,000 subs. He's one of these, you know, vegan compilation deterioration channels. What you're scared of? Like, vegan-phobic? Phobic means the irrational fear of something. Why are you scared of vegans? But yeah, how do we know that Michelle is still vegan? I guess you don't. I could be chowing down on steak every night and you wouldn't know. And I guess you have to take some things on trust. And I could go, well, why would I make vegan videos just to deceive everybody? It's not like I make very much money off this channel. It's not like I'm classed as an influencer. It's not like I have any stake, part of the fun, that I have any horse in the race here, really, other than I gave up meat and fish at 11 because I couldn't stand the thought of the animals that I loved being food. I just did not get it. But then when you lose someone close to you, it really brings it home how precious life is, and how the lives of those creatures that the human race is torturing is just destroying everything about them. It's just disgusting. I have no words when I'm trying to kind of think this through from the mindset of someone who thinks it's okay in their name for this thing to be done. So I guess, how do we know that I'm vegan? You have to take that on trust, that I could not, in my name, allow a life of a sentient creature to be tortured and slain. Just absolutely disgusting. So I know this has been a somber video, and I'm not going to try and dress it up with any fancy editing or any light-hearted segments. I just feel completely disgusted. And again, condolences to the family and friends of Regan Russell. May you rest in peace. And you've done your bit and paid the ultimate for it. That's it. No fancy ending. Bye guys.